Loose scratch, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Once I stood on the block, loose scratch, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back.
Time is money, I can't afford to be a minute late. You the rock like Stockton, chopping on dinner plates. For God's sakes, what a nigga gotta do to make $500,000 without the FBI catching feelings? Four-wheeling and some foreign shit. New York plates and baby moms wanna suck the baby on. Cause I touch weight, the homie in the box, I make sure he's straight. They'll probably hit him at the board on the CR dick. Bitch, I'm hood like D-ball games on milk crates. Fuck them all, I stand tall like 6'8". Trap lord, about 100 grams in a Honda Accord. Snow bunnies wanted raw. Every day I pray the Lord keep me out the way of the boys. Both loans of that girl, but I could get you that boy. Yeah, got a little piece, but I want the whole pie. Make my stack rise. I was broken, then I realized.
I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back.
I've got an agenda to carry out. Sitting in a blender, watch it expand to another. It ain't look like before. 0.04, but it look like it's more. Wax paper and rubber bands, that's the hood life decor. Larry Love, turning good wives to whores, compromising with drugs, turning good lives to war. Now I would never advise you get hooked, but if you do, look no further than I give good price to all. On a hood rise for sure. I just let them know that I've got it. It's up to them though if they decide to call. Some say I'm their demise, but this is how I eat. So know that I can tell them no, but know that I won't tell them twice. Some choose to play the game, but not all choose to play it wise. Some are selling their souls for a 2 cocaine prize. Grim Reaper persona that'll do away with pride. In time, you need a lot from that move, I dare you die.
Once I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks, produce stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back. Cut small pieces to get my loot back.
Welcome to the smoke session, Eddie Jackson edition. Give me a second. We're gonna be right with you.
I don't get that paper, huh?
What happened? Thursday, I got bagged.
Well, what happened, son?
Sitting on the fucking roof, man. Yeah, man.
You going?
Shot this shit, man. I got still burning.
Nitty. Looking up and down the block with a pocket full of rocks. Runner on my hip with some loud in my sock. Watching for the cops, but my eyes on $1. Trying to put a big ass Cuban on my collar. Air Max 95, my dope boy kicks. Trying to put her lips on the dope boy dick. Gotta driving me around while I'm making all my hits. Seen 100 grams, dumb bitch, thought it was a brick. She think I'm rich, so I'm moving out of crib. Drinking all the juice, playing trouble with her kids. It's fucked up, I know, but that's how it is. All she want is rough sex, and she let a nigga live. Stayed in the projects on the first floor. Hit my line anytime, don't be knocking at the door. Close the blinds, lock doors when we cooking up the roll. Straight drop out the pot, guaranteed to want more, and I got more. Yeah, I got it, nigga. Yeah, I serve the nigga. I'm out here smoking weed, speaking, all that, dog. Fuck that, that's me. Yeah, I got it, nigga. Yeah, I serve the nigga.
dope, nigga. No for selling dope, nigga. Call me anything you want except a broke, nigga. Shit was looking bad, I gave my hood hope, nigga. No feelings in this game, I serve whoever smoke, nigga. Hustle by any means, few times I sold soap, nigga. My hood like quicksand and they ain't throwing ropes, nigga. Gotta grind for my son, paint that perfect picture. But I can't get him what he needs just by making wishes. So I be working every day, but I ain't punching clocks. Minimum wage and paying bills, so I play the block. You imagine with this Yola jar in a pot. You ain't buying or selling while you in the spot. Frank was saying in my hood, the way I serve the rock, I serve you anywhere, anytime, any block. Ain't got no plastic, take it in your hand, it's ready rock. I got that shit that made Bobby Joe Millie rock.
Yeah, I got it, nigga. Yeah, I serve it, nigga.
I'm out here smoking weed, speaking, all that, dog. Fuck that, that's me.
Yeah, I got it, nigga. Yeah, I serve it, nigga.
Fucking feds hit us today, man. You know what I'm saying? They got fucking walking out there in Omaha, and the feds in front of my fucking crib right now, man. They fucking probably got case, man. Shit's crazy, man. This stupid motherfucking knowledge, man. As soon as he gets knocked, calls my crib from out there, man. What the fuck is wrong with this nigga? That's your man. That's your man. You sure it's the feds? Stop. You think I don't want the fucking feds when I see him?
So, on to the smoke session. We're gonna get it popping real quick. But before we do, you know what I'm saying, make sure that you know, February coming up, man, 2 weeks, the 14th of February. Make sure you go get that album, man. Word, I can't stress enough. Make sure you go get that album. Let me give you a little bit of that real quick. Then we're going to start this series off.
Caramel complexion, you the definition of perfection. I'm addicted to your essence. Time stops in your presence. Learn your body's philosophy. Teach me a lesson. Let me be a student. Head of the class, baby. I'm never truant. Big red apple for your desk. Go out of my way just to try to impress. Mesmerize, not confess. I can't get you out of my mind. Yeah, I'm a mess. I fantasize, visualize your thighs and the curves of your hips. I taste cherries when I think of your lips. Grabbing your hair on some caveman shit. I take control on some dominant shit. Pure bliss, I can promise you this. I love to see you dressed, looking your best. I love to flaunt you. Can't keep my hands off you because I want you. Yeah.
Spell on the kid, it's like some kind of magic. You got all these other bros looking kind of average. Cause that body, that face, bitches without a habit. The homie say it's getting harder to find me. I'm busy putting my tongue on every part of your body. Like to give it to you good till it's hard to deny me. Fuck the hotel room, I'm getting hard in the lobby, yeah. Wet kisses on your neck, I'm making you wet. We about to make a mess, she say I'm the best. Say it's breathtaking, yeah, I'm taking your breath. Feels so good to you, it's making you sweat. I love the handle your curves, it's what a man deserves. I know you want it right now, can't stand the urge. This one touch could open a whole can of worms. Trying to show your body this, that, and the
She wanna know what I'm getting into, where I've been and what I've been into. Am I dolly? Can she spin through? I reply thumbs up, kept it simple. Hearing music in the air, so instrumental. So now I'm putting haze in the air, setting the mood right. Candlelight dinner for two, under the moonlight. Long pouring through the Pandora, setting the tunes right. Never expected such affection from a goon, right? But I've been plotting for a minute, ain't gonna lie to you. Hope you can handle this pressure, I'm gonna apply to you. I plan on showing the moon, stars, and sky to you. Ride hard, making it throb while it's inside of you. Had you crawling up the bed sheets, and in between the bed squeaks, kissing your neck, making your breath weak. And where I'm kissing you next, I had you wet, weak, dripping and missing from work within the next week. Shit.
The right way.
So let's kick it off. The man on the screen, Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson was kingpin from Detroit. Eddie Jackson is seen as, from the research I've seen, he was a modern day Meech back then. Back then I mean, the way that he did it for Detroit, they say that it's nobody else did it bigger. So that's why they put this, you know what I'm saying? They put this meme right there next to each other because Eddie's pretty much worth it. Eddie Jackson, from mid-70s, he probably had like a 9-10 year run. All while in jail and everything, you know? I mean, not in jail, but all while he was on bail and everything. Word. Eddie Jackson did it huge. Unlike most. You know what I'm saying? And he's responsible for some of the biggest drug deals that you ever heard of from Detroit, from the Midwest. At one point, there was only 3 African Americans getting something from the mob. They were Eddie Jackson, Frank Matthews, and I forget the other guy's name. But when it come down to it, Eddie was getting it for a real low price. And he started out at the bottom, worked his way to the top, and he kept people off his ass because he know how to take care of the customer. Point blank period. Like, he just know how to take care of the customer. So got my little cliff notes here. Eddie Jackson is from a little place. They call it I think it's Paradise Valley, but they called it Black Bottom. So Eddie's from Black Bottom. It was back in the day. See, a lot of these niggas don't understand. Back in the day, it was an understanding before segregation. Just being real, it was an understanding of where you was at and shit like that. But at nighttime, you knew if you wanted to have fun and to live your best life, as motherfuckers say, you would go down to Black Bottom, and you would see blacks and whites conversing and laughing and joking with certain ones. You know what I'm saying? You would see them together. So Eddie's father, you know, just like every other gangster that you ever heard of, Eddie's father ended up moving up from down south because they believed that he had got into some trouble with a white man. So he moved all the way. He moved to Detroit, probably from Alabama or Arkansas somewhere, Texas. They moved from there, and he starts moonshine running. He's running liquor. He's making his own liquor. He's got a pool hall. He got a couple real estate properties. So Eddie grew up fine. Really not too many worries for Eddie, what he had to deal with. So when Eddie's father passed away, he left him a little bit of money, which was unheard of back then. Which is really unheard of back then. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. So, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. While I'm here, listen to part of another song from the album. Give me 1 second.
Monday I'm with Tina, Tuesday Monique, Wednesday is Wanda, Thursday Dominique, Friday is Vanessa, always got a finesse. Keep an attitude but ain't no pussy wetter. Saturday, Candy, my young buck, all she wanna do is fucking roll blunts up. Sunday, Tracy, she cook, I eat, that's what I call a freak of the week. It's our first time together and I'm feeling kinda horny. Conventional methods of making love kinda bores me. I just wanna be a friend. Give you this dick, yeah, that's a win-win. Pick a place, yeah, you just gotta tell me when. The eyes tell no lies, so it's no need to pretend. Short, sweet, and petite, how far can you been? Shit's real, sex appeal, make a preacher man sin. Amen, amen. I say grace, right before I feast with no forks or plates. I wanted all them niggas, they wanna taste. These hoes love numb like the 98 Mace. Yeah, we can beat the screen. I will never put your business in the street. Same old channel, same time next week. And that's what I call a freak of the week. Monday I'm with Tina, Tuesday Monique, Wednesday is Wanda, Thursday Dominique, Friday is Vanessa, always got a finesse. Keep an attitude but ain't no pussy wetter. Saturday, Candy, my young buck, all she wanna do is fucking roll blunts up. Sunday, Tracy, she cook, I eat, and that's what I call a freak of the week. Handcuffs, blindfolds, and feathers. You lose the control, try to keep it together. Candle wax down your back, get that ass a nice smack. Watch how she react. Oh, you like that? Try to relax. Welcome to the G-spot. Got your body burning hot. I done found a G-spot. Your legs shaking, now you out of control. It's like you levitating while a nigga snatching your soul. Just so you know, nothing will be the same after this. Back shots make you arch your back, grabbing your wrist so deep. Got you grabbing the sheets, making a fist. Coming non-stop, staring at me, biting your lips. Let it go, don't fight, nah. Whenever she think of me, she gets so excited. So same channel, same time next week. And that concludes the freak of the week. Monday I'm with Tina, Tuesday Monique, Wednesday is Wanda, Thursday Dominique, Friday is Vanessa, always got a finesse. Keep an attitude but ain't no pussy wetter. Saturday, Candy, my young buck, all she wanna do is fucking roll blunts up. Sunday, Tracy, she cook, I eat, and that's what I call a freak of the week.
Okay, I'm back. Shit. If it ain't one damn thing, it's another. But, so, I mean, Eddie, once the inheritance money ran out, Eddie wasn't big on working. That's just that. He wasn't big on working for anybody. He wasn't big on working at all. So Eddie had got he got a lawsuit money, if I'm not mistaken, and he got income tax money or something. It was either income tax money the first time or lawsuit money. But anyway, he had Courtney do it, and he said he was gonna get into the drug game. So he's trying to get shit going. Motherfuckers is robbing them, you know what I'm saying? They pulling the okie doke, giving them bullshit. So finally, he catches a break. He gets some dope from what's the nigga name? He started getting some dope from Sam Claxton. Now Sam Claxton had the mob connect in Detroit. So once Eddie started getting it from him, you know, he getting it at a good price. It's pure. You can make your money. See, if you know what you're doing, you take an ounce of dope, you get a kilo of dope, and you step on it. You step on it 6, 7, 8 times, you make 6, 7 keys. Right? Now it's up to you if you want to sell a couple keys wholesale or you want to break all that down. That's on you. So Eddie's getting to the bag. Shit's going real good. So once the money start coming in, Courtney, his right hand man, who had filled out his income tax form, his right hand man, they really bump into each other. The field, they call him the field marshal. I know that sounds like, you know what I'm saying, so that shit sounds so racist, but they call him the field marshal. So as the field marshal, instantly Eddie brings him in as his number one, numero uno. There's a few other guys there, but Charles Rudolph, I forgot Ron Garrett, a couple other guys, but really the main crew consisted of that. Eddie, Courtney, Charles, and Ronald. You know, you had street dealers that they kept. You had like Black Butch and niggas named Jap and a couple other niggas, but when it came down for the business, it was pretty much those four. And when it came down really to who needed to know, it was Courtney and Eddie. So Courtney's more level-headed. He's the one that, he gets shit done. So Eddie sends Courtney. They get them an apartment once the money starts to flow in. Once they start getting, they got the bricks coming in, they cutting them, they breaking them down. You turn in, if you buy three keys, you can turn those 3 keys into 27. 20 easy, you can turn them into 27, no problem, and still have good dope if the shit's pure. If you know what you're doing. So Eddie, big baller right here. Eddie starts to get to the bag. The money's rolling in. He tells Courtney, "Yo, we need a place to bag this shit up and sell it. We just can't keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's apartment, this shit gonna get hot." So Courtney goes and he found an apartment building on Hancock, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he finds an apartment place on Hancock. So after that, now they ready to go. They set, off and running. Shit ain't no joke. Now they up to if I'm not mistaken, he jumped from like 510 something like $25,000 a day. And just like bottle and quarters and shit like that. So you figure he had about 3 or 4 spots because Eddie was just as smart as his father. He had real estate properties. So he had a couple of spots. But here's the thing. Them niggas was better than Fortune 500 companies, bro. Niggas had shifts, pay rates, overtime, paid leave, vacation. Like if it was your job to just watch the window, you're supposed to watch the door. You got these guys that are supposed to cut it up. You got these guys supposed to bag it. You just got guys that sitting there working, and all those guys are on a pay rate. They're not getting like a piece of this. Yo, go out and get this. No, everybody is getting a set rate. Niggas is getting a certain amount of dollars an hour, and they're getting paid overtime too to work at the trap house. See. another reason I'm doing this shit because anybody who sees this, any young nigga who see this, if you ain't getting it like this, bro, you listen. If you're gonna give the drug game a shot, give it a shot. And if you don't see yourself taking off like this, go find you a job. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Word, nothing wrong with it. So, well, as Eddie taking off, you got Eddie, who's a kingpin. You got Courtney, who's the field general, the field marshal. But he's the general. You had the great Dolph, Charles Rudolph. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if young Dolph, wanted that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what his name was, but hey. And you had Black Butch and you had Jack. Those were like the street dealers. Ronald Garrett and Charles Rudolph, the great Dolph, those were the lieutenants. Captains, whatever you want to call them. That's what they were. They were the captains. So after a year or so going by, making a lot of money, Courtney has a change of heart. So Courtney decides he wants to go back to work. I guess he figured he made enough money that he can satisfy his family. So Courtney goes back to work, driving the bus, if I'm not mistaken. So Courtney fucks around and my camera done failed too many fucking times. Shit ain't working now. But yeah, so that shit is the fan, right? I'll get this lighting right. Courtney, anyway. Oh, some good shit. Courtney runs back into Eddie. And he done hit a crossroads. His money done got low. He's in debt. The 9 to 5 just ain't paying for his lifestyle and how he wants to live. So what does he do? Looks right back over Eddie. A year later, he right back over Eddie. And Eddie brings him in with open arms. No problem. Pulls right up on him. Like, yo, bro, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you my man. 50 grand. So Courtney gets right back to work in his position. Like, ain't nothing changed. So instantly, they get back to work. Shit is popping. You know what I'm saying? They got to connect. They back to they supplying the city if you need it. They got block, they got areas and where they at, where they just making money, handle fish, they taking care of everybody, so nobody really wants to do anything. You know what I'm saying? A couple people that ended up, if you wanted to keep robbing Eddie, he was gonna say, yo, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll give you a warning. And then if you don't take heed to that, you came up missing. Detroit River got a bunch of motherfuckers in it. Or had. So I think about not too long, maybe a month or a few months after Courtney gets back with Eddie, Sam Claxton gets into some trouble and is never seen again. So I don't know if he got away or if the mob just ended him. So for a few months, a few re-ups, I'm not gonna say a few months because them niggas is ran up like every, week or some shit. Every few days. Eddie was getting from Claxton's wife. But he knew that shit was gonna dry up. You know what I'm saying? She probably was holding on to whatever she had left. And whenever they found or whatever, whatever. If they were trying to make it seem like he wasn't, and they were still doing business or whatever, he knew that shit was gonna dry up. So Eddie and his mans, you know what I'm saying? Eddie and his niggas. This is the picture they took at Madison Square Garden of the Ali Frazier fight. Eddie, if they didn't have cars, he bought cars and let them use his cars. Him and his whole crew, whoever was fucking with him, whoever worked for him, drove from Detroit to New York. Now, the cover story is they went to go see the fight. Eddie went to go, if I'm not mistaken, the Bronx section of the Gambino family. He ended up getting to connect with them. So once he got that connect, I think they were charging him somewhere around $10,000 a key, $11,000 a key. So I think he bought a couple keys. Right now, I think he bought $50,000 for keys. So that's about 3 keys. You take those 3 keys, you turn those 3 keys into 30 keys. This is how these niggas are getting money now. I'm just explaining it to you. Like, if you're not making a flip like that, you're wilding. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you want to use flipping your money. Like, take your next flip and go get a job because you're just flipping to make ends meet. You understand what I'm telling you? These niggas was flipping. These niggas taking 3 keys, making 30, and still eating, still having the best shit on the block. That's something to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, Eddie was the type of nigga that would take $1 million if he knew he was going out and he was taking his friends with him. Like, I'm about to blow this meal with me and my friends. People that worked for him and hung with him, and he like you ain't had to spend nothing. That nigga had a meal to spend in the 70s, early 80s. Like, that's Donald Trump type shit, you know what I'm saying? So once Eddie gets the damn connect, Eddie's basically supplying the city. Indirectly or directly. If you don't fuck with Eddie, cool. You fuck with Courtney, cool. You fuck with Rudolph, cool. You fuck with Garrett, cool. He has so much dope that if you bought shit from other niggas, he had it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just had it. He had it from top to bottom. So, and like I said, Eddie was just as bashful, like as Meech. That's why I think that niggas love Meech so much, because Meech was the last. He's the last of the Eddie Jackson way of doing things. See, there's another guy, Henry Marzette. He had a different way of doing things. That's the way like people are doing shit now. He don't get talked about, but I'm gonna get him too. He was a cop. So Eddie bought property to keep, to cover up the money. He had properties all over what they call Paradise Valley, aka Black Bottom, all over Detroit. So Eddie was getting so much money, he would ride down the street and throw he would throw the ones out. He would throw the ones and the 5 and the 10s and some of the 20s out the window. Like, this man's name was called the Crowd Pleaser. So Eddie was very bashful and boastful. Like, he had no problem just ride down the street in one of his Rolls Royces or Bentleys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He had Cadillacs. Whatever he was in, he had no problem running down the street throwing that shit out the window. Just hundreds of thousands of dollars he just throw out the window while he driving down. However, how much he felt like doing, like, that's just different. That's just Eddie Jackson. But like I said, Eddie was one of the most powerful men in the world. You be a little careless. So, people probably tell him shit, but he ain't giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, if I'm not mistaken, he sent his girlfriend to New York. She was spotted at the airport with 2 other people. Thought to be associates of, Eddie Jackson, more likely muscle if they with Eddie's girlfriend and she's traveling. So once they figure out the flight plan, she going to New York, they figure out she's doing something. So they get to New York. They think everything going right. Courtney said they say they had a bad feeling or something. Like Courtney said, "Don't touch nothing. Don't bring no dope back. Don't do nothing. Just get on the plane and leave." But Eddie didn't listen to Courtney, what the shit had. Fucking field man, your field general, field marshal. She gets booked at the airport with 2 keys. She keep her mouth shut. She don't tell, she don't squeal. One of the big bad niggas that was with her, that was supposed to be basically protecting her, comes out and says she Eddie Jackson girlfriend. She taking that back to Eddie Jackson. Now he's got the DEA on him, right? And when they get on you, they just don't stop. So now you got the alphabet boy, I think DEA and FBI. Now you got all types of shit, you know what I'm saying? Now they want to know who you are. Now by the time they figure out who he is and the manpower they spend on who they can't come up with a case for another 18 months. That's how powerful he was. Once it might have took them 3 to 6 months to figure out exactly who he was and take it to their superiors. By the time they take it to their superiors, and if they took it, it took 18 months before they could hit him with something. So, I think the girl, she did 3 out of 7 years. You know what I'm saying? But she kept her mouth shut, and she probably was taken care of in a way like that we niggas just don't know. Her family's probably still got money from that shit. If she invested it right. or she was able to start something. So Eddie starting to feel the heat. You know what I'm saying? He ain't feeling that shit. The Italians, you know what I'm saying? They on some other shit. You know, he had to go back. He had to go up there and take care of that shit in New York with bonding the girl out and all that shit. So he went up there, took care of that, and made sure she didn't get murdered. At least that's what he made sure she didn't get murdered right then. So she kept her mouth shut. He went up there and took care of that. They hit him with some bricks. He went and he came back home. You know what I'm saying? He came back. Hey, he sent somebody up there. They came back with some more shit. So they were still off and running. So now Eddie's saying, I'm about to get out of the retail business. I'm about to just do wholesale. You know what I'm saying? So Eddie calls a meeting. Hold on, y'all. Just give me 1 second. Give me one. Sorry about that. So Eddie calls a meeting between him, Charles Rudolph, Ronald Garrett, and Courtney Brown. Eddie tells Rudolph and Garrett, listen, I'm getting out of retail business. You niggas can go into business for yourselves. I mean, you can be your own boss. You already got your crews. You be your own boss. The only nigga who has a choice is Courtney. He can come with me or he can be his own boss. And if Courtney come with me, you got to see Courtney. So Courtney has been set up excellent. Whether he wants to run with and run with Eddie or be his own boss, he's set up to go far. So Courtney, he takes the running with Eddie because they best friends. They grew up and shit like that. So he takes running with Eddie. Plus, Eddie loose, so he if he can keep Eddie out of jail, he also saving his friend. Plus, he's making a lot of money. So it goes that Garrett and Rudolph would I don't want to say war, but it would be intense competition on changing the prices on what you was on the price on the dope and how much it would cost and this quality of the shit. So but they was making money. It was just who was trying to, you know what I'm saying? You could start to see that it wasn't just, they were buddy completely. You could kind of see that more than likely either Courtney Brown or Eddie kept the whole thing cool. Because the crews are split up different. Everybody's not just buddies just hanging out together. They coming together for a common goal to get this money. So if I'm not mistaken, I think Black Butch was with Ronald Garrett. Ronald Garrett was known for knocking out police. That's his MO, putting the police to sleep. Charles Rudolph was more structured. I'm not gonna say he was, he of a thing, but he was structured. He was military. When he came out from the military, Eddie was up and running, so he got with Eddie. So he was more structured. That's why they probably called him the Great Dolph, because everything was structured. So he gave them all 10 grand as severance pay. You think about that now? That's like giving people $100,000. It's like giving 2-3 people $100,000 for working with you, but you don't want them to fall on their face or fall hard. So I'm gonna give you $100,000. Plus, I'm gonna be your connect. You can be your own boss. Who the fuck does that, bro? Like, this shit was different. Like Eddie Jackson is just somebody different. So like I said, them niggas wore the Great Dolph, Charles Rudolph, and 5-0 Ronald Garrett. They were making I got this shit written down. Oh my God, bro. Listen to this shit. I can't even break down how much money that them two niggas was making, right? Selling retail. But with wholesale, Eddie was doing 2 a month. Wholesale, Eddie doing $2 million a month. He's doing $2 million a month. All right. Eddie buys a house out in the most exclusive area, mostly Jewish people and shit like that. So Eddie has his house custom made. Eddie has gold toilets and gold sinks, and if I'm not mistaken, like his house might have cost something like 60,000-70,000. He might have spent like 60,000-70,000 to fucking furnish the house. Floor model TVs. We talking about in the 70s and the early 80s, bro. Like floor model TVs and like fur, like couches with you know what I'm saying, like shit that's crazy. Stuff like everything, laying everything, right? So he buys a house out there. So he tells Courtney, after they make his, they start making his money. Oh, I want to, because I want you to understand that making $2 million in their time is making $10 million in our time. Hold on one second. My daughter's annoying the hell out of me. But the $2 million he made in his time is $10 million in our time. So if you ain't clocking nothing close to that, man, get his drug game up and get a job. It's not worth the risk. Really, it's not. So wholesale. And he's looking at 20 keys a month. So he tell Courtney, he's like, yo, come out here, move out here next to your boy, man. Move out here by your boy. Courtney like, nigga, I can't afford that shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I still work for you. Da 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 da. Eddie say, man, all right, man, you ain't no goddamn worker, man. You a partner. You get points on the package. Courtney move out there. Courtney house $75,000. He spent $50,000 to furnish the crib. He bought 3 cars just to put them in front of the house. Just so he match up living out there. Now you got like probably these niggas is out there, like the niggas that the black people that live in that neighborhood are entertainers. Probably like sports figures or something that can live in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like they was like Smokey Robinson lived down the street. So it's like you niggas is out here living, and you niggas is living better than the damn entertainers and the singers. What the fuck going on? Excuse me. So it was said Eddie was supplying so much dope to the streets that he would just buy cocaine and basically sniff it, sell a little bit, but it was basically recreational, and he would basically supply the stars with the shit. The comedians, the actors, the singers, everybody that came through there you got to think in the 70s. If you was a comedian or a singer, you went to Detroit to perform, or you would record your album. Now, comedians recorded albums back then. So they saying 80 to 90% of the music and the albums that you heard that were recorded in Detroit is off the fat man's cocaine. It's said that they set Red Fox up. You know what I'm saying? Not set him up, but you know, they gave him what he wanted, some bitches, you know, some coke, some bitches, you know, and he has a room already. They just set everything. They set everything over there, and every time he came to town, they took care of him. If I'm not mistaken, let me get these names out. Right? I don't want to get these names out. Red Fox was wined and dined by them. Richard Pryor, the Dales, the OJs, the Dramatics, Eddie Kendricks. These are just a few of the people that Eddie supplied. Whether they wanted dope and he had that, or coke if they wanted at the party. That's a lot of shit. Well, everybody was, you know, well, I didn't say everybody, but while a lot of people were using like murder to prove their influence, Eddie got money. Point blank period. Eddie got money. As long as Eddie got 90% of the money, he taking it. You know what I'm saying? If you come and you want 100 and you got 80, you got $90, man, give me that shit. Which it's supposed to be. Because you're going to keep coming. You're going to keep coming. The only time you ain't going to come is when the doors are shut, which is very rare. So Eddie's always making money. Or if you can't make it over there. So, let me see. Just to be clear, Detroit murder rate is if I'm not mistaken, was twice as high as New York and Philly, and 4 times high as other states. So let's just be clear that Eddie figured out how to move amongst the wolves without having to kill them. I'm just saying. So in 1971, Eddie and Courtney, these niggas is getting. Yeah, these niggas is getting crazy bread. So these niggas kind of started out in the 60s. These niggas had a long run. Like by 71, these niggas getting to the bag, right? So Eddie Supply hit him with 12 kilos. They getting ready to come up, right? These niggas about to cut the. These niggas about to turn 12 kilos into 120 kilos. You understand what the fuck I'm telling you? These niggas about to turn 12 kilos into 120 kilos. It's impossible to fuck that up. You feel what I'm saying? You about to turn 12 you get them at 11. 12 times 11, 132. You about to have 120 keys. You about to make 60 to 80 off of them keys. You do the fucking man. I ain't about to do it for you. That's a lot of motherfucking kilos, but that's a lot of motherfucking money, bro. You do the math and put the number in the chat just to think about it. If you ain't making that money like that, man, get this shit up, man. Ain't no need for you to be fucking with it. But as soon as they started to package all the shits up, they starting to cut the shit up. DEA come in. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember, it's a few months, it's almost a year and a half later since that shit happened in New York. So they come in there and everybody get caught because the niggas supposed to be watching the door, fell asleep. It's like, when nigga at work fell asleep on the job. So wasn't nobody able to get warned to do the routine. They put the stash away and keep shit away. Everybody get locked up. That's in the house. Eddie bought everybody out. Cause that's the type of nigga Eddie is. He ain't leave nobody out. But that didn't stop them. They make the call to the Italians, in New York. They like, everything all right? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, don't worry about it. We got something for you. Boom. They hit them niggas with some more bricks. Them niggas off and running. Out on bond. Off and running. Matter of fact, it said, let me make sure. Eddie had his best years while he was indicted. You know what I'm telling you? That man had his best years of getting money while he was indicted. That's how I go in the game, man. While you out on bond and the police think they got a victory, you keep going. They like, yo, why ain't that stop? This nigga was indicted. He ain't scared. But hell no, this nigga put more dope on the street. You know what I'm saying? Cause he know what's coming. I don't know what you niggas think about. Yeah, he had moved to Southfield. So in 71, he got locked up. 72 to 73, this nigga had like crazy run. You could imagine that somewhere in that timeline, they ended up getting another 12 keys and turning them 12 keys into 120 keys. And if you're selling wholesale, this is what you think about that. You're selling wholesale at about 11,000 a key. You spend 30 to make 90. And that's just Eddie doing wholesale. Courtney was still maneuvering around. He's still doing his thing. So Eddie ended up remodeling his house in Southfield, which was a secluded area. You know what I'm saying? Nigga get into the bag. So I think what did shit say? Not mistaken. Oh yeah. So while them niggas get into the bag on a road trip to Texas, it's Black Butch, Hucklebuck, and Eddie. Now, mind you, I did not make these names up. The nigga name is Hucklebuck. So some niggas got, if I'm not mistaken, this shit say them niggas got like 4 ounces of cocaine. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure. They run out of cocaine on the way to the goddamn shit. These niggas, Eddie like, man, let's turn around and go back home and get some more coke. Hucklebuck like, you niggas stupid. But Butch is like, you know, whatever, nigga, whatever Eddie want. And then like when he got the money, them niggas had $150,000 in the backseat. They get pulled over in Missouri. State trooper thing ain't no rob the bank. So, if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, somehow while in Pennsylvania, I guess Eddie was on his way back from, you know, meeting his connect. Eddie gets caught with 11 pounds of dope and 3 ounces of cocaine. The ounces of cocaine are literally recreational use. Literally. You got 3 ounces of cocaine. You ain't about to sell that shit. Bro, that's sniff. And fuck with bitches. Because I don't think he was married. I think he had a bunch of, I don't know if he was, still had a girlfriend. So Eddie's going to court. Hey, babe. Eddie's going to court back and forth. Eddie, Eddie's going to court back and forth, but Eddie has Malcolm X's lawyer. So all of a sudden, Eddie, what's that? What the hell? Okay, now my pops just called. Yeah, Courtney, not Courtney, but Eddie made a couple of donations and his charges went away. The dope probably even disappeared from evidence locker and the coke. Ain't no telling. Pennsylvania. Oh boy. So things are going along like it's supposed to. These niggas is running shit. They still under indictment. And nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. These niggas is still running. These niggas actually are bigger than they were before they got locked up. But nobody's saying nothing. So come 1973, front page news. The two of the biggest kingpins in Detroit live right next to each other. And they partners. Now that is front page news. So if I'm not mistaken, indictment comes down not too much. Indictment comes down. 30 out of 32 people get indicted, right? Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jap says him and a few other people were never indicted. They were never, they weren't part of the indictment. He said he was knocking off $25,000 a day worth of quarters. Now, I know those quarters aren't all his, but how much you think he was making off $25,000 worth of those quarters? I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Just being a street dealer. You get if you was getting half, 30% of half of that, you walking away with more than $10,000. Or around that number. That's just crazy. Whew. So these dudes are still on these dudes getting after the indictment and everything, these niggas go to trial, these niggas get locked up. I mean, well no, these niggas blow trial. But the lawyer's so good and probably another donation that Eddie keeps 30 motherfuckers out on appeal. 30. Keeps 30 people out on appeal. 30. That's just from Eddie and Courtney. They ain't nothing about Rudolph and Garrett. 30 people out on appeal. Think about that, man. 30 people. So, come 1975, this is 2 years later. Eddie and Butch get locked up in Vegas. And I think this story goes a little bit different. There's a few more people. They meet Frank Matthews while they locked up because I knew it was coming. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, back like what I was saying. I think that they met the infamous Frank Matthews. Guys were just there gambling, and they thought that it was a drug dealers convention. Anyway. They gave Eddie 30 years. They gave Courtney 21 years. Well, they sent, if I'm not mistaken, but they sent Courtney to Atlanta instantly. They split him and Eddie up. So they sent Courtney to Atlanta. Not too long after that, they rounded up Rudolph. Rudolph ended up in the same place Eddie was, which was Leavenworth. Yes, they sent them niggas was getting, they was that big, they sent them to Leavenworth. Whew. Working on appeals and all that shit with the lawyer money and all that shit, having bank like that. Eddie was out in 9 years. Courtney was out like not too much long after that. When they came home, shit was not the same. You know, niggas didn't move like that. Niggas, it was a lot more kill, murder. You know what I'm saying? But they still know how to move. So, you know, they was moving. Courtney ended up getting his own connect because 18 months later, Eddie right back in jail. So 18 months later, Eddie back in jail. Courtney's got to figure out how he gonna move. Courtney gets some brand new connects. Courtney moved way different than Eddie, but that's why Eddie kept him around. So Courtney has some money laundering shit going on in New York where, oh my God, all the money that he made off of the game, he would send it to New York and launder it through his son. And he ended up, his son worked for him while in college. So he got to see both sides of the world. So he gets out, young man. His dad is the field marshal. He opens up a clothing store across the street from the Apollo in the fucking 90s. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. I'm gonna skip some shit, but I'm gonna come back to it on later episodes because we're gonna do YBI, Demetrius Holloway, Maserati Rick, Big Ed Hansen, Best Friends, Nate Boone Craft. We're gonna do these guys that was getting money. Curry Boys, Chambers Brothers. White Boy Rick was the bottom of the fucking barrel. So when it came down to it, Courtney ended up moving a lot. He moved a lot better than Eddie Jackson did. He just did. It's, you know, we ain't enough. I'm not getting mad. I'm not hating nobody. Eddie Jackson passed away in 1995 in prison. He passed away in prison. By then, Courtney had connections that, come to find out, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I got this right. That's somebody else, right? That's totally different. Courtney had some connects that were Pakistani. Everything good, bro. What's going on? Oh, Juggernaut, where the hell you been at, nigga? Bro, where the hell you been at, my nigga? Word. I ain't seen you in a minute. But yeah. You know, just dropping some jewels and shit, because this boxing shit gets, this shit gets stale. These niggas keep saying the same shit over and over. So yeah. But Courtney had ended up he had some, if I'm not mistaken, they were in Pakistan. Yeah, I think his connection with Pakistan. So he was moving kind of different. So I think not too long ago, I think he probably did a bid between 2012 and 2018. He did a 6-year bid. So ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. As you got to keep that bread. You got to get that bread going. Ain't nothing wrong with that, my nigga. I understand. Trust me. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I get into another story about how Courtney and Eddie's sons, how they was moving, but that's a totally different story. Y'all just getting this. The story of Eddie Jackson, the crowd pleaser. You know what I'm saying? Eddie went to jail in a major indictment in 1985-86, right after he got out of prison. Courtney Brown maneuvered, and like I said, he was the field marshal. He knew how to move. He knew how to grease. He knew how to do what. And he wasn't a big fish. Like, to be truthfully honest with you, there are a couple of groups Eddie Jackson, Courtney Brown. That is Big Meech and Southwest T. Demetrius Holloway, Maserati Rick. They're like switched because Demetrius Holloway was quiet. Well, he was quieter, but he was more giving, where Maserati Rick, they said, was boastful and bashful, but was cheap and petty. Which is like how Southwest T is, but he wasn't boastful and bashful. He was quiet. And Meech was boastful and bashful, but he was more giving. So there's a few crews that went a certain way that those guys ended up being. It was just in their nature to be that. Black Bottom, or Paradise Valley, is now known as, or what it used to be. If you go to see it now, it's where the Tigers play and the Lions play. If I'm not mistaken. Courtney Brown is an old man living in a nice house right now. I've seen interviews. He's a real old man. I'm surprised, he's still alive. His son has degrees and, big time real estate. I mean, not big time, but, successful in real estate. His daughter's a lawyer. Eddie Jackson Jr., he followed his father's footsteps as far as he could. And then he just figured out a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad y'all showed up. I'm glad y'all was here. And I want y'all to know, man, that if you're not going to do it to that extent, like, I don't know a lot of niggas making $25,000 a day now. And that man was making $25,000 a day in the late 60s, early 70s, late 60s through the 70s. Y'all make sure y'all go get that album, man. Y'all make sure y'all go get that album. Cupid Hates Me. Nam Nitty. Valentine's Day. That's a lot of bread, bro. And bro, wait till I start breaking down. Bro, listen. People think Maserati Rick is the guy. He's not the guy. He was getting shit from Demetrius Holloway because Demetrius Holloway was getting the connect that he got from Eddie Jackson while he was in prison. And Eddie ended up hitting him with 1,000. Hit him with the connect he had. The connect was hitting Demetrius Holloway with 1,000 bricks on consignment. He only had to pay for 640 of them. You do the math. Y'all make sure y'all go get this album.
She loves me now. We was once so close, tell me when that stopped. I gave you all of me instead of treating me accordingly. You catch attitudes, ridicule, if not ignoring me. I just wonder where we went wrong. Tony Braxton, it's the same old love song.